राधे
राधे राधे
गोविंद
राधे गोविंद जय राधे राधे
राधे
गोविंद
राधे
गोविंद
राधे गोविंद जय राधे राधे
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 राधे गोविंद भज राधे राधे
राधे गोविंद जय राधे 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 गोविंद जय राधे राधे
राधे गोविंद जय राधे राधे
राधे गोविंद जय राधे राधे राधे
गोविंद
राधे
गोविंद
राधे गोविंद जय राधे राधे
राधे राधे
भगवान
राधे गोविंद जय
राधे 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 गोविंद जय राधे राधे
राधे राधे राधे गोविंद जय राधे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे
Jaya Prabhupada. Bhakati Sadma.
Moe Savadana Mati
Bando moye savadana mate.
Bando Moe Savadana Mati
Shahara Pradebai Devavatoriya Jai. Krishna Prapti Ho Jate. Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitite Korea Akya. Arna Koreo Mane Asha. Arna Koreo Mane Asha. Shri Guru Charane Rati Aise Uttama Gati. Je prasade pure sarva asha. Je prasade pure sarva asha. Chakada dilo je janme janme Prabhu se. Chakada dilo je janme janme Prabhu se. Divya dhyan hire prakashito. Divya dhyan hire prakashito. Prema bhakti jaha hoite avidya vinasha jate. Prema bhakti jaha hoite avidya vinasha jate. Virgai jahara charito. Siddhi Gaya Chahara Charito Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Arama Janara Bandhu Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Arama Janara Bandhu Lokana Lokera Jivana Lokana Lokera Jivana Aha Prabhu Kora Doya Deho More Parachaya Aha Prabhu Kora Doya Deho More Parachaya Ebeja Sagusute Bhuvana Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravadita Charini Nivishesha Shunyavani Vrashatari Shatari Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Avaita Gadadhara Shiva Sari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Avaita Gadadhara Shiva Sari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Paramakaruna Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra Jaya Paramakaruna Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada
Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Jnana Vishwapad Paramahamsa Parivrajaka Shtotra Sata Shri Srimad Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan ki jai Shri Vrindavan Dham ki jai Mathura Dham ki jai Mayapur Navadvip Dham ki jai Ganga Mai Yamuna Mai ki jai Bhakti Devi Tulsi Maharani ki jai Sankirtan Yagya ki jai Samveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Prachayani Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatari.
The lotus feet of our spiritual master are the only way by which we can attain pure devotional service. I bow to his lotus feet with great awe and reverence. By his grace, one can cross the ocean of material suffering and obtain the mercy of Krishna. My only wish is to have my consciousness purified by the words emanating from his lotus mouth. Attachment to his lotus feet is a perfection that fulfills all desires. He opened my darkened eyes and fills my heart with transcendental knowledge. He is my Lord birth after birth. From him ecstatic prema emanates. By him ignorance is destroyed. The Vedic scriptures sing of his character. Our spiritual master is the ocean of mercy, the friend of the poor, and the Lord and master of the devotees. O Master, be merciful unto us. Give us a shade of your lotus feet. Your fame is spread all over the three world. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Vrindaye Tulsi Devyay Priyay Kesavasacha Vishnu Bhakti Padadevi Sachavatai Namo Namah. Vrindaye Tulsi Devyay Priyay Kesavasacha Vishnu Bhakti Padadevi Sachavatai Namo Namah. Srimati Vrindadev Tulsidev Maharani ki jai. Namo Namaha Tulasi Krishna Preyasi Namo Namaha Radha Krishna Seva Pavo E Abhilasi Je Tomara Sharanaloy Tara vancha purna hoy. Kripa kore korotare Vrindavan bhasi. Kripa Morae Abhilas Belas Kunjariyova Nayane Ribasara जुगलारूपराशि हरिवासरा जुगलारूपराशि एनिवे दानारहरो Sakiranugata koro Sakiranugata koro Sevare karadie Koro nijarase Dina Krishna Rasiko Ejina Moro Shri Radha Govinda Premisara Jinavasi Shri Radha Govinda Premisara Sarajinavasi Innaprimi Sarajinavasi Yanikani cha papani brahmacharikani cha Tani tani pranashante pradikshina pare pare Yanikani cha papani brahmacharikani cha Tani tani pranashante pradikshina pare pare Yanikani cha papani brahmacharikani cha Tani tani pranashante pradikshina pare pare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Jaya Tulsi Maharani Jaya Tulsi Maharani Jaya Tulsi Maharani Jaya Tulsi Maharani Jaya Vrindarave Jaya Vrindarave Jaya Vrindarave Jaya Vrindarave Jaya Vrindarave Jaya Vrindarave Srimati Vrindadev Tulsidev Maharani Ki Jai Vrindai Tulsidevyai Pariyai Kesava Sacha Vishnu Bhakti Padadevi Sachavate Namo Namah Vrindai Tulsidevyai Priyai Kesava Sacha Vishnu Bhakti Padadevi Sachavate Namo Namah Srimati Vrindadevi Tulsidev Maharani Ki Jai O Tulsi, beloved of Krishna, I wadang before you again and again. My desire is to obtain the service of Shri Shri Radha and Krishna. Whoever takes shelter of you has his wishes fulfilled. Bestow your mercy upon him, you make him a resident of Vrindavan. My desire is that you will also grant me residence in the pleasure groves of Shri Vrindavan Dham. Thus that in my vision I'll always behold the beautiful pastimes of Shri Shri Radha and Krishna. I beg you to make me a follower of the cohort damsels of Braj. Please give me the privilege of devotional service and make me your own maid servant. This very fallen lowly servant of Krishna prays. May always swim in the love of Shri Shri Radha and Govinda. Srimati Vrindadevi Tulsidev Maharani Ki Jai. Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shri Mate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादिशतारिणे
नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादिशतारिणे
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasari Gaura Bhaktavrinda
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasari Gaura Bhaktavrinda
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasari Gaura Bhaktavrinda
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram.
जय राधा माधव, जय कुंज बिहारी
जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी
गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरि वरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी
गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरि
यशोदनन्दन ब्रज जनरञ्जन
यशोरनन्दन ब्रज जनरञ्जन
यशोदनन्दन ब्रज जनरञ्जन
यशोरनन्दन ब्रज जनरञ्जन
यशोदनन्दन ब्रज जनरञ्जन
यशोरनन्दन ब्रज जनरञ्जन
जमुना तीरावनचार्य
तीरावनचारी
यमुना तीरावनचार्य
यमुना तीरावनचारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
यशोदनन्दन ब्रज जनरञ्जन
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 जमुना तीरावनचार्य
यमुना तीरावनचारी
यमुना तीरावनचार्य
यमुना तीरावनचारी
जय राधा माधव Madhava Kunja Vihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna
Krishna Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Everybody together.
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Rama
Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna to all the devotees. We'd like to first of all welcome each and every one of you who are joining us here at Hare Krishna Study Center for yet another very special and wonderful Sunday feast. We'd also like to especially welcome those who are joining virtually. Thank you very much. So we just had some very ecstatic kirtan. We do hope you enjoy it very much. And we're going to continue with a very special presentation. First of all, we'd like to take this opportunity to wish all our fathers a happy Father's Day, our fathers, our grandfathers, and of course, we are all here to seek the blessings of our Supreme Father, Lord Sri Krishna, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Nityananda, Srila Prabhupada, and all the acharyas coming down in disciplic succession. So, special Father's Day to each and every, to all the fathers out there, and this is a very, today's program is dedicated to all of you as we continue to seek the blessings of the Lord. So we'll continue with a very special presentation. This presentation, the topic is Understanding the Power of Habits through the Yoga Sutras. So this is a pre-recorded presentation given by His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrita Maharaj at Govardhan Eco Village on the occasion of International Yoga Day. So His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrita Maharaj has been a very exemplar and very senior member of our Krishna consciousness movement. He preaches mostly in India and resides there as well and in recent years. And Maharaj is very scholarly, and we do hope, I know each and every one of you will enjoy his presentation this morning. So over to Maharaj.
I'm very happy to be here with all of you, and particularly happy because Govardhan Eco Village Yoga School is organizing this particular program on the occasion of completion of 6 years of this school. Hundreds and hundreds of students have passed through the portals of this school, so to speak, and have greatly benefited. It also happens to be International Yoga Day, I believe. And I'm also very happy that a series of such seminars and programs is being organized in these few days. I suppose all of you are in different places all over the world. But yoga is such a thing that can unite everybody on a common platform. The topic I was asked to speak on today was understanding the power of habits through the Yoga Sutras. Now, Yoga Sutras is a text that has been compiled by the sage Patanjali. It's a Sanskrit text and very well known amongst enthusiasts of yoga. So what I will do is I will have a little PowerPoint presentation, which I will bring up on the screen now. And I will take you forward, and then we will have questions after that. So the power of habits is something that we are all very, very familiar with. It's not something that is new to us. So what we're going to talk about in the course of the next 45 minutes or so, roughly, is the following. What is the importance of habits? How are habits formed? What is the psychology of habits? Particularly, we're going to look at the perspective that is given by the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, but we will also include some element from the Bhagavad Gita, which is also a vital yogic text. Then we're going to speak about habits and childhood briefly, and then the all-important topic of habits and destiny, and dealing with bad habits, creating good habits, and eventually the conclusion. So what is a habit? Of course, we're all familiar with this word from childhood. We've probably been admonished by our parents or elders in our childhood, telling us how we should give up a certain bad habit. Perhaps we are familiar with habits because we want to give up certain habits, we want to acquire new habits, we make New Year resolutions and so on. Sometimes we succeed, sometimes we don't. So a habit is essentially a settled or regular tendency and on practicing something. And it's usually very hard to give up. And sometimes it's done even without knowing that we are doing it. It becomes such an integral part of our life that we don't even realize that we're actually, involved in it. Habits are important. Why are they important? Because we are all creatures of habit. Let me just adjust the size. Okay. So we are all creatures of habit, meaning that we're accustomed to doing things out of habit. Actually, someone has made an estimate, some psychologist has made an estimate that about 90% of what we do every day is based on habit. That's quite a lot. It's very significant. Everything actually is formed by habit. Habits actually reveal who we are. And everyone's life is touched in such a deep way by habits, good habits, bad habits. And especially for those who are seeking spiritual advancement, it's very important to understand the subject of habits. Our habits determine our quality of life. They determine who we are. Why is that? Because we are what we repeatedly do. You've heard sayings like, we are what we eat. You see, we are who we associate with, and so on. So also, we are what we do. We become what we do. And especially when we repeatedly do something, then all the more these habits then, these activities get converted into habits, and then they control us. They will either make us or they will break us. We can have mental habits, we can have physical habits, we can have attitudinal habits. Habits can exist on various platforms of our consciousness and our activities. So they actually control us. It's surprising at the degree to which we are actually victims of our own habits. But ultimately, our habits are created by us. So because we created it in the first place, it is our responsibility to rectify those things if these habits are not helpful for us, if they're not beneficial. So if we want to control our life, we must control our habits. Yes, because we are made up of habits, so to speak. 90% of our life is habit. Therefore, we must consciously create the right kind of habits and nourish them. And equally, we must consciously avoid creating the wrong kind of habits. So we must consciously weaken and break the bad habits. So all of us, at least as normal human beings, we have habits of various kinds. We have good habits, perhaps we have some bad habits. From the language of the Bhagavad Gita, and language which is increasingly also part of the yoga terminology, good habits are essentially part of what we call the mode of goodness, or the sattva guna. Bad habits are part of what we could call the modes of passion and ignorance, which means Rajaguna and Tamoguna. So we need obviously some standard to determine what is good and what is bad. So these three terms, the mode of goodness, the mode of passion, and the mode of ignorance, kind of provide a standard for us by which we can judge, whether our habits are good or bad. And also, what do we mean by bad habits, our strong habits? So, these are terms that we will deal with as we move along. But the important thing is that we must recognize what is controlling our life. And real freedom actually means to break free from bad habits. Because we are creature of habits, we are equally controlled by good habits as well. It's a very important point to note. So it's not a bad thing to have habits and be controlled by habits. But the question is, what kind of habits do we have? If those habits are very good, and if they're helpful to us physically, mentally, emotionally, intellectually, and above all, spiritually, then those habits are good for us. And it's good that we are controlled by those habits because they protect us from being influenced by bad habits. So, it's not a bad thing to be controlled by habits, but it's a question of identifying which are the good habits, which are the bad habits, and then submitting oneself to the control of good habits. Okay, so wherever we go, our habits follow us. Just like our karma, because as we'll see a little later, habits are formed by karma, by our actions. As we mentioned earlier, when we repeatedly do something, then it becomes a habit. So habits become a necessity. As you know, the old habits die hard. And so it's very difficult to break the habits. I remember a little story, a short story, that there was a thief. And he decided he wanted to reform himself. So he went, people who were spiritual. So when he went there, there was some discourse going on, a spiritual discourse. So he sat there. And then the gathering decided that they were going to go on a pilgrimage to some places, some holy places. So the thief decided that he would do that as well because he wanted to reform himself of the bad habit of stealing. So he went along with them at the appointed date, and they all gathered together and they were all living in one large room. In those days, pilgrimages were rather austere and living conditions were not as luxurious as they are today. So they all lived in one big room and they had their luggage next to them as they slept. Now this thief woke up in the middle of the night, and because he was so afflicted by the bad habit of stealing, the urge to steal once again rose very strongly within him. And it was like an itching in his fingers that he had to do something. But then better sense prevailed, that he understood that I'm here to reform myself. I'm in the midst of spiritually minded people, and it's really not good for me to steal other people's belongings. But so he went back to sleep, but then the urge was too strong. So he thought he has to do something. So what he did was he woke up, and quietly in the middle of the night, when everyone was asleep, he interchanged their luggage. So he picked up one person's luggage and kept it next to another person, picked up that person's luggage and kept it next to a third person. So he had to do something, so strong was the habit. And in the morning when people woke up, of course, there was chaos. And people were wondering who had done this and how come their luggage was all over the place. At that time, the thief confessed. He said, I'm really sorry, but I've become a victim of my habit. I'm trying to reform myself. And since I thought it's not good to steal, but still the urge was strong, the least I could do was to just interchange your luggage. So therefore, it is well said that the chains of habit are too tight to be broken, too tight if they are too heavy to be broken. So they are too tight to be felt until they are too heavy to be broken. So we realize only when it's too late. So actually trying to introspect sincerely and identifying habits, good or bad, is an essential part of our progress. So, how are habits formed? Of course, habits are formed, yes, by repetition of particular acts. And the more we do them, the more intensely we do them, and the longer the period for which we do them, the stronger they become. Now, there is a saying in India that if you do something, 12 days in succession, then it becomes a habit. Modern psychologists speak in terms of repeating something for 31 days continuously before it becomes a habit, right? So, I mean, generally, let's say you're accustomed to doing a particular thing and you want to break it. So then you do something else instead of doing that. You don't do that for 31 days continuously. And not that miraculously, the urge goes away. It's not going to be so easy, but it becomes less harder going forward to give up that habit. Now, we're going to talk of the psychology of habits. As I mentioned, we're going to primarily draw from the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, but we will also give some insights from the Bhagavad Gita. So there are 5 terms that we will need to understand in order to understand the topic of psychology of habits. So these 5 terms are chitta, klesha, vritti, samskara, and karma. Of all these terms, depending on how deep you are in the study of yoga, you may have heard either all of these terms or some of these terms. And at the very least, I'm sure you've heard the last term, karma. Karma is a term we're all familiar with in the modern day world. It's become a part of the modern day lexicon of people, even in the English language. So the word chitta, that's the first term of these 5. The word chitta can refer briefly to the consciousness, the heart, or the mind, differently, depending on the context in which the term is used. Our founder, Srila Prabhupada, refers to it like that. He also refers to it as conditioned consciousness, meaning that there is a consciousness that is not conditioned. When we speak of conditioning, we are also speaking to some form of habit. Originally, as you know, consciousness is pure, because consciousness is a symptom of the pure, eternal, spiritual soul, in Sanskrit referred to as the Atma. So because the Atma is pure and spiritual, its quality of consciousness is also naturally pure. However, when the Atma, the soul, comes in contact with this material world, its spiritual nature gets eclipsed. It gets covered over. And one becomes the victim of certain bad habits. The materialistic mentality is reflected in various types of bad habits. So that comes about because our consciousness now has got habituated to the material atmosphere, so to speak. So this is chitta. So there is a pure chitta and there is the conditioned chitta. So the goal of life actually is to move ourselves from the state of conditioned chitta or consciousness to the stage of pure original consciousness, which is actually our constitutional nature. And that is how Patanjali in the Yoga Sutra defines yoga. So this is actually what yoga is meant to do. Yoga is meant to transform our consciousness from I don't know where these lines are coming in on the screen from. Okay, so yoga is essentially a process for transforming our consciousness from the conditioned state to the unconditioned pure state, to rid our consciousness of all the debilitating, inebriating, bad habits. Yes. So, how Patanjali defines yoga is as follows: Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Yoga is the Nirodha, which means the cessation of, and Chitta means consciousness, and Vritti refers to the restlessness, refers to the kind of disturbances that originate within the consciousness. So all of us are familiar with the fact that the mind always disturbs us. At any given point in time, there's always something that seems to occupy our mind and move us in one way or another. Often they are very disturbing thoughts, and we're annoyed about something, we're irritated about something, there's some unfulfilled desire that we have, and so on. So yoga essentially consists of the process of calming the restless mind. So the getting of good physical health is not actually the primary objective of yoga, as is mistakenly understood in the modern day world. Most people do yoga for physical fitness, which is all right, certainly, because good health is important for us. And yoga is a very sattvic way of doing that. However, physical good health is not everything. It is just one intermediate state. It is an incidental byproduct. So let's talk about klesha, the next topic. We've discussed chitta, which means the consciousness or the conditioned consciousness, and we've seen how yoga implies calming of that chitta. What is it that causes the restlessness? It is the vrittis, but the vrittis are caused by kleshas. So what are the kleshas? The kleshas are essentially hindrances or afflictions of the mind. They are the causes of various disturbances and pains and distresses to the mind. The word klesha actually means distress. So there are 5 types of such kleshas: ignorance or avidya, ego or asmita, desire or raga, aversion or dvesha, and clinging to life or abhinivesha. Now, of these 5, ignorance is the root. All the other types of kleshas. So, we have to actually address the principle of ignorance or avidya. And that comes by acquiring spiritual knowledge and by simultaneously beginning spiritual practices in accordance with that knowledge. Then automatically, as avidya or ignorance is destroyed, these other 4 manifestations of klesha will also get destroyed. And when the kleshas are destroyed, naturally the consequent vrittis will also be reduced. So the kleshas are deeper elements of the psyche. They are deep within the consciousness. So after discussing chitta and klesha, now we'll talk about vritti. The vritti can refer in general terms to a tendency or a nature. But specifically here, vritti refers to any thought or any emotion or a sensation or an idea that occurs to us in our mind. These vrittis are constantly generated within the mind, and they stem from the kleshas, as I mentioned earlier. The kleshas give rise to the vrittis. The afflictions of the distresses give rise to these thoughts or sensations and so on. So the vrittis are the surface level manifestation of the kleshas. So the kleshas are in the deeper level of the psyche, and the vrittis they manifest themselves in the observable platform. And they are mostly cyclical in nature. One could compare them to bubbling activities. When you're boiling some water, sometimes the bubbles, they come to the surface. Or even on the ocean, in the ocean water, you see the bubbling coming up in the water. So it's like that. It's something that comes up from within, and then the bubbles come to the surface. So therefore, these vrittis, they happen in response to internal and external stimuli. So we'll continue with vritti. There are two types, essentially. Two types of these cyclical or these responsive acts that take place at the surface in response to the kleshas. One is called klishta, and the other is aklishta. The klishta vrittis are those sensations or those ideas or thoughts which are detrimental to yoga. When we speak of detrimental to yoga, we're speaking of the fact that they're harmful to us. They spoil our consciousness, they spoil our chitta, they increase our kleshas. They arise from kleshas, and when we nourish them, they increase the kleshas as well. They arise from the modes of passion and ignorance, which I referred to a little earlier. And the aklishta vrittis, those that are not detrimental to our consciousness, and they are actually beneficial to our life. And they arise from sattvic discrimination. By sattvic, I mean the mode of goodness. And they seek to control the influence of rajas and tamas. So these aklishta vrittis, these beneficial tendencies, they arise from the mode of goodness, and the intention there is to subdue the negative influence of the modes of passion and ignorance. Now, it's clear that it is important to have vrittis. We can't do without vrittis. But which kind of vrittis? That's the question. So we need those vrittis that arise from sattvic discrimination. And that is an important topic for us. How does one facilitate sattvic discrimination? We'll come to that in a few minutes. So now, having discussed chitta or consciousness and klesha or the afflictions which are deep in the psyche, and the vrittis, which are the surface level manifestations, the thoughts and ideas, etc., that stem from the kleshas, now we will come to samskaras, which was the fourth topic that I mentioned, as described by Patanjali in the Yoga Sutras. So the samskaras, the word samskara means complete act. Kara refers to an act that is done, and sam is a prefix that indicates completeness. So the word samskara has many connotations depending on the context in which we use it. In other senses, the word samskara indicates an act of reformation or purification. In very simple terms, in our yogic context here, we can understand samskaras to be impressions or imprints made on the chitta by one's vrittis and karmas. They are sensory impressions. So they are impressions that are actually imbibed through the sensory organs, and then they make imprints, impressions on the consciousness. So the vrittis and the karmas means our activities. The vrittis are internal, They're already existing within us. And the karmas are something that we do. So by doing an activity, which is an external act, then that has an impression on the chitta. Similarly, our pre-existing vrittis also create impressions in the chitta. So a crude analogy for this would be the sound imprinted on a tape or an image on a film. It's not exactly like that, it's much more subtle, but it just gives a rough idea to us of what we're speaking about. So we could also speak of it in terms of a pathway or a groove in the mind. And imagine also that you have, let's say, you make a little channel in the mud in your garden, and you want the water to flow from one place to another in your garden, and you make a little channel. You just cut the mud a little bit and let the water flow through that. So the water then automatically flows. Yes. So you made a kind of an impression in the mud, in the ground. Now, as more and more water flows in that very same channel, what happens? The channel starts, wearing out, the water starts wearing out the mud, and perhaps it starts becoming a little bigger. Yes, so we'll see that. So, now this is an interesting point. Every object that has ever been experienced by us forms a samskara. And we're not talking of simply this one life. In all the lives that we've lived in this material world. So every single experience is stored there in the chitta. Just imagine that. It's quite mind-boggling. And thus the mind is a storehouse of these recorded samskaras, deposited and accumulated in the chitta over countless lifetimes. Let's take a hold of that and try to figure out what this mind is. Now we speak of so many gigabytes of memory in our computer or in our phone or something, But just imagine this. Every single event, thought, word, or deed, every single sight, every single sound, every single smell, every single taste, every single touch, the experience of that is recorded in our chitta, in our mind, since time immemorial. Of course, we don't remember all of them because in the language of modern psychology, they have receded into the recesses of the subconscious mind. So they are not accessible to us from our current state of conscious awareness. But they are there. And there are psychologists who, even if they're not aware of the yogic science, they could by certain means cause you to revive certain thoughts and experiences from your past as a means of healing. There are some psychologists who even do past life regression. That is, they take you into your past life in a state of hypnosis, and then you can understand the root cause of all your problems. Why you're facing a certain psychological, situation. So, what we understand, what we remember, what we perceive and experience is only a very, very tiny, insignificant portion of the entire, shall we say, repository of impressions of samskaras that we have within us. So the vrittis and samskaras that are repeatedly deployed form deeper pathways in the chitta, and thus similar thoughts flow more strongly in the same direction. So that's the example I gave about that little channel that you made in your garden for the water. The more you put water into that channel, the wider the channel becomes eventually. So similarly, if you are accustomed to thinking in a certain way, the more you think in that way, the deeper the tendency to think like that comes about. So, in other words, you will want to think like that more and more. And thinking like that will come to you easier and easier. And therefore, as a corollary, it will be harder and harder for you to stop that way of thinking. So now, this idea that everything is in our chitta, all the experiences, our founder, Srila Prabhupada, gave a simple example that sometimes we may dream of a mountain of gold. Now we know that there's nothing like a mountain of gold. We've seen gold and we've seen a mountain. And both these ideas or conceptions exist within our mind. But what the mind does, it mixes up the two. And therefore we see a mountain of gold in our mind. Yes? So the memory, therefore, acts to retrieve something from the subconscious. So when someone has a better memory than somebody else, it only means that by that person's karma, that person has an ability to delve deeper into that storehouse of memories and come up with something instantaneously. When someone has amnesia, it means that by karma now, the brain, the physical functioning of the brain is such that one cannot delve into one's memory. So generally what happens is that the older memories are pushed down, and the other memories, which are more recent, they appear on the surface. It's something like bed bugs. I don't know if you're familiar with bed bugs, but in hot tropical countries, bed bugs are sometimes a very big botheration. So, bed bugs, you may think you've destroyed them, but, the eggs may remain. And at a suitable time and a suitable season, these eggs will again give birth to other bed bugs. So similarly, our impressions, samskaras, they go deep down, and we may think we've conquered it, but actually we haven't, because from deep down from the past, these things will still emerge again at some suitable point in time. So given some appropriate stimulus, many of the old samskaras then may be revived. Okay, the power of samskaras. So a strong samskara induces one to perform a certain kind of activity. These strong samskaras impel one to act in certain ways again and again, thus impeding the exercise of one's free will or choice. Yes, so this is an important philosophical point. Do we have free will or don't we? We do. But very often we find ourselves compelled to do a particular act as if we're helpless, or it becomes really very difficult to do a certain thing we want to do. There seems to be some hidden obstacle that comes in the way of our doing a certain thing that we want to do. So that is because these samskaras have become so strong that they compel us to act in a certain way or to not act in a certain way. So when we do a certain karma or an activity again and again and again, the samskara becomes stronger and stronger, and to that degree, it becomes a significant impediment in the exercise of our free will or our choice. So the stronger the samskaras become, which means the more repeatedly we do those activities, the more they dominate the psyche and demand fulfillment. So we're all familiar with that. Samskaras thus account for personality traits, or they account for habits, they account for compulsive and addictive behaviors. So now we come to the topic of samskaras and habits. Now you've already got an indication from what I've said before about the relationship between samskaras and habits. And obviously we've talked of karma as well, because when we perform karmas, the samskaras get even deeper. So samskara induces one to perform a particular type of activity. The repeated performance of that activity makes a samskar even stronger and becomes a more powerful impetus to act similarly again and again. For example, if someone has a habit of lying and that person succumbs to this habit and lies again, then now the samskara that is formed by the karma of lying again and again becomes even stronger. And that strong samskara will induce one to speak lies again. And then the more we speak lies, the stronger the samskara becomes again. And then we go on and on. So it becomes a vicious cycle. And then stopping lying becomes extremely difficult. So this is an important point. Resistance to performing that activity keeps diminishing, and it becomes progressively easier and easier to do that activity. So as we saw earlier, it essentially robs us of our free choice. Finally, it becomes a compelling force, a strong habit. And when something becomes a very strong habit, it's very difficult to change it. You know, when there's a plant, you can easily uproot it. But when that plant transforms into a tree, then it's very difficult to cut it down. So there are two types of samskaras. The positive samskaras, which induce sattvic karma, which creates spiritual inclination, and which foster good habits. And there are also negative samskaras, which induce rajasic and tamasic inclinations, which means inclinations in the mode of passion and ignorance, and such karma like craving and aversion, and they increase material entanglement and they foster bad habits for us. So we have to try to see how to inculcate positive samskaras, not the negative ones, and the samskaras in the next life. The kleshas, vrittis, and samskaras provoke various karmas to be performed. These karmas produce reactions. One reacts to these reactions, which give further reactions. This continues ad infinitum. So this is the cycle of karma. So the kleshas, vrittis, samskaras. Kleshas cause the vrittis, which causes samskaras, which cause the karmas, which again cause the cycle to move on and on and on. All these karmic reactions cannot be accommodated in one lifetime. They spill into the next life along with the kleshas, vrittis, and sanskaras, and thus one is born with a certain nature in the next life. And that in Sanskrit is called svabhava. So we are born with a certain nature, all of us, every one of us. Some people are born with a sattvic nature, some people are born with a rajasic nature, some people are born with a tamasic nature. Most of us are born with mixed natures. Sattvic, rajasic, tamasic, we have something of everything. So in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, in order to save time, I will not read the whole verse. Krishna, in the 16th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, speaks about the divine qualities. For example, fearlessness, purification of one's existence, cultivation of spiritual knowledge, self-control, etc. So these are different qualities that appear in the 16th chapter, verses 1 to 3. And what's significant here is that Lord Krishna says that those with a divine nature are born with these qualities. The word, Sanskrit word uses abhijatasya, of one who is born with the divine qualities. So Arjuna, Krishna says to him, you are born with the divine qualities. So it means that there was some cultivation of positive samskaras in the previous life, which makes one have this svabhav in the next life. Similarly, there is the demoniac nature, pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness, and so on. So these are qualities that belong to the demoniac nature. And Krishna says that some people are born with this demoniac nature. So now we can understand why people are born with certain natures. The modern psychologists say that one's nature is formed roughly as follows. This is an interesting point of information. 50% is formed at birth by what they call genetics. We would call it the samskaras of the previous life. 10% is formed by the environment, and 40% is in one's hands, which means it is the free choice. So, habits in childhood. So therefore, if we try to cultivate the right habits from childhood, we have 50% there, remember. 50% is what you have from your previous birth, so that can't be changed. But you have the rest of the 50%, which is in your hands. So if you have children, then you can train them to have good habits. And like wet cement, it's easier to create impressions when one is young. As one grows older, one becomes more rigid in one's thoughts and approaches. Chanakya, the great moralist, has also said that one must start doing this from a very young age. Some useful quotes. I'll be a little quick because I've run out of time. Parents who give children good habits provide for them better than by leaving them a fortune. Habits of youth accompany us in old age. Habits at 3 are habits at 80. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. Okay, so these are some familiar quotes that you've heard. I want to make a brief mention of Garbhadhan Samskar. The Vedic culture speaks about a purificatory activity called the Garbhadhan Samskar, which is done even before the act of conception. That ensures that a person with a good svabhav or nature is born. So we sow an act, we reap a habit. We sow a habit, we reap a character. And I'll quickly go through this hierarchy. What we believe in leads to our thoughts. What we think manifests in words and actions. The actions we do form habits. Habits form character. Character forms our nature or svabhav. And eventually that causes our destiny. So how will these beliefs and values change? Because remember, the root of everything is our beliefs and values. So if we want to change our destiny, want to change our habits and character and everything, we have to go to the root of beliefs. So that happens by association, by the company we keep. The company we keep is the root of our habits and indeed of our destiny. So, dealing with new bad habits, the best way to stop a bad habit is to never begin it. Prevention is better than cure. You've heard of that. Stay away from potential sources of bad habits. Be alert to identify a new bad habit when it is about to be born and nip it in the bud. Bad habits are like cancer, easy to get rid of if detected earlier. On the other hand, existing bad habits are harder to deal with. Old habits die hard. And the secret to permanently breaking any bad habit is to love something greater than the habit. And that is, we come according to the language of Bhakti Yoga to Krishna. In the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, Patanjali speaks about Ishvara Pranidhanad Va. Ishvara means God, Pranidhana means to surrender, to be immersed in, and Va means or. So he actually makes an important point here, which is not really focused on amongst yoga enthusiasts, which is that you can either do all these yogic processes that we've mentioned, all the asanas and all of that, or you completely surrender to God. The word va indicates the process of surrender. So when you surrender, then the bad samskaras are taken care of much quicker, much faster. And one moves along the spiritual path. A nail is driven out by another nail. Habit is overcome by habit. So if we want to get rid of a bad habit, we have to do it by cultivating a good habit. So replace bad habits with good habits. How? By repetition of contrary acts, so that contrary habits are formed. The old habits will become weak and eventually they will get destroyed. Good habits lead to peace, auspiciousness, spiritual progress. Ponder over how important cultivating good habits are to create your desired destiny. As I mentioned briefly earlier, good habits are as addictive as bad habits, but they are much more rewarding. So we must protect our good habits and strive to create new ones. So creating good habits happens by resisting temptation, to identify which good habits are necessary to make spiritual progress and attain joy and auspiciousness. For that purpose, we have to examine our daily routine, and that is where our success lies. Begin with developing good habits in little things, in small things. Good habits and big things will follow. Repeat these acts day after day. Modern psychologists, as I said earlier, speak about 31 days. Yes? Cultivate the mode of goodness by company that is sattvic. Then it is much easier to break the bonds of bad habits. Good habits will automatically form in such sattvic association. The higher self begins to manifest. When especially we come in the association of devotees of God, Ishwara Pranidhanatva, and we take to the process of devotion of bhakti yoga, then automatically we start loving God, and that process of love then helps us to overcome all the bad habits that we may have. And I guess there will be other sessions about bhakti yoga and yoga in the other seminars. So the last and final slide, we have to make the right choices. The responsibility is ours. So realize the power of habits and make your life perfect. Thank you very much. So I think I went over the time limit a bit. Sanbol, I'm sorry I went over the time.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrita Maharaj ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna devotees. So I'm sure you all agree that it's a very enlightening presentation for all of us, because habits is something that we have to deal with in our daily lives, and it is an impediment in our spiritual lives. And the way Maharaj has put it out, every different aspects of habit, what it is, how we can deal with it. And one of the things that stood out in my mind, he said that habits, we are what we do, and it is our responsibility to create and nourish right habits. So Maharaj would have mentioned a lot more, I'm sure, and we can all try in our own little way to first of all identify if there are some habits that are considered or that falls under the category of bad habits, and how we can start to deal with those. And that will give us a great push in our Krishna consciousness, in our devotional service. So we want to thank Maharaj for given that such important presentation, and we do hope each and every one of us can benefit or can take it, to such a level where it will benefit us in our Krishna consciousness for many, many years to come. So once again, on behalf of all the devotees and management of Hare Krishna Study Center, we want to wish all our fathers, beginning with our spiritual fathers, our spiritual masters, Srila Prabhupada, and our fathers locally, by our biological fathers or grandfathers, we want to wish them all a happy Father's Day, and at the same time we want to seek their blessings. Actually, that is what is the significance of all of these days: Mother's Day, Father's Day, Vyasa Puja. All of these days are there to actually to glorify these personalities, to remember the integral and important role or the impact that they would have had in our lives. So it's a day that we show gratitude, and at the same time we seek their blessings for a continued, progress in our devotional life, in our Krishna consciousness. So as we are getting ready for the Artik, is there anyone on Zoom? We just have a few minutes. Is there anyone on Zoom who would like to say a few words? Hare Krishna. Maybe something that stood out with you in Maharaj's presentation, or maybe you just want to wish all our fathers a happy Father's Day, you can do so. Okay. So we'll do just a little kirtan. We'll do some kirtan. So actually, I plan to read one verse from Bhagavad Gita. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Jai Krishna Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.
I'd like to also join with Satyasuta Prabhu and wish everyone a happy Father's Day. One of the theme of the presentation is the world is celebrating International Day of Yoga, which the actual day will be tomorrow. So this presentation by Baldev Prabhu and the Chaupati, ISKCON Chaupati devotees are in part of celebrating or observing the International Day of Yoga. And it's important for us more and more to see the connection or the spiritual connection. The whole world is now becoming, let's say, more and more acquainted or familiar with the word yoga, karma, guru, and all these things becomes much more known these days than more than ever before. And it is nice that it is giving us a platform where, as Prabhu, as Maharaj would have said, that, persons are taking yoga for physical well-being, physical health, and all those things, which is good. But from our standpoint, from a spiritual point of view, from Krishna conscious point of view, practicing or trying to practice and follow Vedic culture, it is nice that we also can make our contribution to actually add to that, to create that awareness that the actual importance or meaning of yoga is to link, establish back our connection or missing or lost link with the Supreme, that will bring us ultimate happiness, ultimate peace or calm, peace of mind, and everything else that persons are endeavoring for in today's world. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you for those few words. So I think we are ready for Artik. So we invite everyone to please join us for the beautiful Artik ceremony of their Lordship Shri Shri Paramakarantaya Gaurachandra. Jaya Paramakaruna Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra Jaya Paramakaruna Jaya Nitai Gaurachandra. Paramakaruna Jaya Nitai. Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra. Jaya Nitai Gaura Chandra Jaya Jai Shri Shri Paramakartai Gaura Chandra Ki Jai. Nama Om Vishnu Padhaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasachari Shatarine.
Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasatadishatarine.
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare
Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Rama.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Oh Rama.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
निताय गौरचंद्र जय परम करुणा जय निताय गौरचंद्र
परम करुणा निताय गौरचंद्र जय परम करुणा निताय गौरचंद्र
जय पंचतत्व जय पंचतत्व जय पंचतत्व जय पंचतत्व
जय पंचतत्व 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 जय पंचतत्व
जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद
जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय प्रभुपाद
नित्य गौर हरे बोल हरे बोल हरे बोल गौर हरि बोल
निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल गौर हरि बोल
Jai Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivajagacharya Shtatara Sada Shishimad. His Divine Grace Abhayacharya Bhakti Vedanta Jagat Guru Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON BBT Founder Acharya His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivajagacharya Shtatara Sada Shishimad. His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Thakur Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shudvaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Sham Kun Radha Kun Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Mathura Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Purshtama Shetha Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Shri Navri Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Maya Jamna Maya Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Shrimati Tulsi Devi Maharani Ki Jai. Shri Yogadharma Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Shri Prabhupada's Transcendental Books Distribution Ki Jai. Shri Shri Paramakarnitai Gaur Chandra Ki Jai. Samveda Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. All glories to the assembly of devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembly of devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembly of devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarini. So Hare Krishna, just you can all have your seats. Just before we begin the Namaste prayers, we like to seek the blessings of Lord Nrsingadev for one of our devotee here, Chaitram, who underwent a surgery just yesterday for his ear, and he's going through some intense pain at the moment. So we like to seek the blessings of the Lord for our dear Chaitram, that he can recover very quickly and be back to normal. Hare Krishna. Mayapur Prabhu.
Namaste Narasringhaya.
Namaste Narasringhaya.
Namaste Narasringhaya.
Namaste Narasringhaya.
Hiranyakashipurvakshaha. Hiranyakashipurvakshaha.
Hiranyakashipurvakshaha.
Shilatankanakalaye.
Shilatankanakalaye. Shilatankanakalaye.
Ito Nrsimha Parato Nrsimha.
Ito Nrsimha Nrsimha.
Ito Nrsimha Parato Nrsimha.
Ito नृसिंह परतो नृसिंह
यतो यतो यामि ततो नृसिंह
यतो यतो यामि ततो
बाहे नृसिंह हृदये नृसिंह
बाह्ये नृसिंह हृदये नृसिंह
बाहे नृसिंह हृदये नृसिंह
बाह्ये नृसिंह हृदये नृसिंह
बाहे नृसिंह हृदये नृसिंह
नृसिंह हृदये नृसिंह
सिंहामादिं शरणं प्रपदे
नरसिंहामधिं शरणं प्रपदे
नरसिंहामादिं शरणं प्रपदे
नरसिंहामधिं शरणं प्रपदे
नरसिंहामादिं शरणं प्रपदे
नरसिंहामधिं शरणं प्रपदे
तव करकमलवरे नखा अद्भुतशृङ्ग दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तानुभृङ्ग केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
तव करकमलवरे नकमाद्भुत शृङ्गार
शृङ्गार
दालिता हिरण्यकशिपुतानुभृङ्गा केशवदेता नरहरिरूपा जया जगदीशारी जय जगदीशारी जय जगदीशारी
केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
Loudly, everybody. केशवदेता कुल केशवधृता नरहरि रूपा जगदीश रे केशवधृता
नरहरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
जगदीश रे
जय जय जगदीश हरे
हो जगदीश रे
ओम नमो भगवते नरसिंहाय
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 जय नरसिंह देव जय नरसिंह देव नरसिंह देव जय नरसिंह देव
जय नृसिंहदेव नृसिंहदेव Hari Bol.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol.
Shri Nrsimhadev Bhagavan ki jai, Prahlad Maharaj ki jai. So I'd like to thank everyone on the live stream for so kindly joining in.